What's up, guys? Will here. So, day one of the 10-day challenge. And here's your tip for the day. We're going to talk about how you can set your goals and make a plan to put into action to really attack and achieve that goal. Stay tuned. All right. So, today we're going to talk about setting goals and then working towards them with a solid plan of action. Now, here's how you're going to start. First, you're going to go ahead and get out a pen and paper. And we're going to start off working on our SMART goals. Now, here's what SMART goals stand for. It is specific. That means it's something that is specific to you and what you're working towards. Measurable, meaning that it's something that you can actually physically measure, because if without a measurement, you don't really know if you've progressed. It is attainable, because it has to be something that is challenging, but you can also actually achieve it. And realistic, again, making sure that it's not something so far out of reach that it's impossible. And time bound, because without a time, then we don't really have to work on it. So we need to set a time limit to force us to actually work on it. Now, this is how we're going to start. Specific. Again, make this goal relevant to you. There's no point in telling yourself that you want to lose 20 pounds if you don't really have 20 pounds to lose. If you're someone who just needs to tone up a little bit of 5, 10 pounds, then don't make a 20-pound goal. Make it something that's very specific to what you need to accomplish. Second, I want you to write out and use something that you can measure. So, pounds are really easy. You can obviously measure in pounds. So measuring 10 pounds is simple. You just step on a scale and boom, you measured out your pounds. You can also do something smaller, like inches. Maybe a circumference around your waist. You can measure that, how many inches around your waist, and if you go down in the waist size, that's something measurable. But just telling yourself that I want to lose weight, that's not an actual measurable goal. You need to actually be able to measure it physically with something, okay? Attainable. Choose something that is going to be very challenging for you. You need to make it really hard to accomplish, or otherwise it's not going to be useful for you. But you also want to be able to achieve it, because at the end of the day, we all like feeling like champions. Realistic. I know you want to choose something super challenging, but don't make something so far off the spectrum that it is unrealistic, especially with the amount of time that you give yourself. If you're telling yourself that I want to lose 30 pounds in 4 weeks, that's obviously a very unrealistic goal, and it's only going to set yourself up for failure. So try to make it a little bit more broken down, smaller amount, something that you can achieve, something closer to maybe 5 in 4 weeks, with the total goal being 30 by the end of your journey. Lastly, time bound. Again, we need to definitely set a date to complete. If you always have to clean your kitchen or your house and you just say, I should probably clean it, then it's never gonna get done. But if you say, tomorrow I'm going to clean the kitchen, then you're gonna clean it tomorrow. So we need to set a timeline. That's what gives us that deadline and forces us to work towards it. So make sure you're very specific and set a date. Once you have a date in mind, then break it down into how long that's gonna be. Then with that, you can break it down into the individual time, and now we can make it much smaller, attainable goals. So, if we started off wanting to lose 5 pounds by January 20th, then we'll break it down to about 1.5 pounds per week. Now we're time bound. This is gonna help us to work towards our goals. Great. So now that you've created your SMART goal, how do we work towards it? Well, I want you to take that next sheet of paper and I want you to write down what you're going to do either the rest of today or tomorrow. It's fine. Start tomorrow. It's okay. But again, write it all down. Write it down to what you're going to do in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, and follow that plan. What you guys put down in your book for what you're going to do tomorrow has to be what you actually do. Don't just ignore it and push it off to the next day and the next day and the next day, because then you'll never get there. And then your time-bound factor will just be useless. So, set a plan for what you want to do tomorrow. One day at a time, guys. And then, as long as you do that every single night, always working on what are you going to do tomorrow. It's never looking all the way down the road. Don't look at 2 or 3 weeks out. Don't worry about that. Just worry about what are you going to do tomorrow and stick to that plan. Anything outside of that plan that you've created, don't do it. Stick to the plan. As long as you guys stick to the plan every single day, guess what? You'll achieve your goal. Well, hope you guys like that. This will be your tip for day 1. Remember to check out the workout on Instagram today if you haven't seen it yet, and go back to Facebook to see that motivational mindset. Talk to you guys tomorrow.